My husband keeps choosing his nephews over our own daughters. I finally found out why. Throwaway account. I've been sitting on this for months, mostly because I didn't know how to tell it without either making Daniel sound like a villain or making myself sound like I was overreacting to a man helping his struggling family. I don't think either of those is true. I think the real answer is more complicated than either one, and I needed somewhere to actually lay it all out in order before I could figure out what I actually believe about any of it. Sophie was standing in the kitchen in her good dress, the one she'd picked out specifically for her school's spring art exhibition, when she asked me quietly, not looking up from the juice she was pouring, "Did Dad choose them again?" I didn't have to ask who she meant. Daniel had promised twice that week that he'd be there for her exhibition, her first time having a piece actually selected for the hallway display instead of just the regular classroom wall, and he hadn't shown up. I found out why a few hours later, scrolling through his sister Rachel's social media without really meaning to, and found a handful of photos posted that same afternoon, Daniel, unmistakably, standing on the sideline of his nephew Mason's baseball game, arm around the boy's shoulders after what looked like a decent hit, both of them grinning at the camera. Same afternoon. Same exact hours Sophie had spent checking the school gym doors every few minutes, hopping. I stood in our kitchen holding my phone, looking at my 10-year-old daughter's quiet, resigned little face, and understood that this had officially stopped being something I could keep explaining away as one busy season in a demanding job. I'm Claire Dawson, 34. I work as an elementary school counselor, which I mention mostly because it's more than a little ironic that I spend my professional life helping other people's kids process exactly the kind of quiet, accumulating hurt I somehow didn't see clearly enough in my own house until it had already been building for the better part of a year. Daniel is 37, a firefighter, the kind of steady, physically capable, deeply loyal man who shows up for almost everyone in his life without being asked twice. I want to say clearly before anything else that Daniel is not a bad father. He wasn't always like this. For most of our daughters' lives, he was the parent other people's husbands got unfavorably compared to. And understanding how we got from that version of him to the man standing on a baseball sideline, while our daughter checked an empty gym for his face, is most of what this whole story is actually about.